Okay, magandang araw po. So, let's solve a problem here regarding variable acceleration motion. So, we have here a particle of mass 8 kilograms moves so that at time t, its position vector is s, where s is equivalent to 8t minus t squared of I plus 4 plus 12t minus t squared of j. And the unit vectors I and j are perpendicular. So we have to find the velocity and acceleration of the particle, find the magnitude of the force acting on the particle, and the time when the speed of the particle is 4 meters per second. Okay, so let's start. So kung i-analyze po natin, yung given function po natin or equation is s as a function of time. So that is under case number 1. Meron tayong given s as a function of time. Para makuha yung velocity as a function of time, i-derive lang natin yung s as a function of time. And then, para makuha naman yung acceleration as a function of time, i-derive natin mismo yung ating velocity as a function of time na nakuha sa pag-derive ng ating s as a function of time. So, nasa modules nyo po yan. So, case number 1, pag meron tayong s sa function of time, para makuha yung velocity sa function of time, derivation lang po tayo yun. And then, para makuha yung acceleration sa function of time, i-derive lang po natin ulit yun. Okay, so that is case number 1. So we have here given s equivalent to 8t minus t squared of I plus 4 plus 12t minus t squared of j. So, two-dimensional lang po tayo dito. I and j are perpendicular. So, it could be I is our x-axis and j is our y-axis. Either way. Okay. So, pag meron tayo niyan, pwede natin kunin mismo yung magnitude ng ating displacement at a certain time na given. Since meron tayong function niya in a vector quantity form, kunin nila yung magnitude niya. Pag kinuha yun, that is square root of sx squared plus sy squared. But that is not the unknown. The unknown is velocity. Para makuha yung velocity daw, i-derive lang daw natin to. So, deriving s with respect to time, excuse me, so that is ds with respect to time equivalent to derivative of 8t is 8 minus derivative of t squared, that is 2t, and that is I, plus derivative of 4 is 0, derivative of 12t, that is 12, minus derivative of t squared, that is also 2t, that is of j. And ds over dt, that is our velocity. That is 8 minus 2t of I plus 12 minus 2t of j. And that will be our first requirement, the velocity. Velocity kasi pag sinabi velocity, that is a vector quantity. Dapat naka-vector form siya in terms of I and j. Wala naman kasi sinabing magnitude. Pag walang sinabing magnitude, hindi siya scalar. Naka-vector form po dapat ng ating sagot. Pag sinabing magnitude, kunin nyo lang, pag sinabing magnitude of velocity, that is vx squared plus vy squared, square root of the quantity. Ito yung vx po natin. Vx is 8 minus 2t and vy is 12 minus 2t. So, alam nyo na yan. Tinuro na po yan sa ating statics of rigid bodies. Okay. And then, also, get the acceleration. Para makuha yung acceleration natin, i-derive lang natin ating velocity. So, derivative of velocity with respect to time. Or dv over dt. equivalent to derivative of 8, that is 0, derivative of negative 2t, that is negative 2 of I. And then plus derivative of 12 is 0, derivative of negative 2t is negative 2. So that is negative 2 of j. And dv over dt, that is also acceleration. So acceleration is negative 2i minus 2j. And that will be our acceleration in vector form. So these are the two requirements for letter A. Also, pag kukunin mismo yung ating acceleration, that is square root of ax squared plus ay squared, where ax is negative 2 and ay is negative 2 also. Pero hindi yun kinukuha. Hindi yun yung ating unknown parameter. Okay, letter B. Find the magnitude of the force acting on the particle. Okay, force. And we know that force is a product of mass and acceleration. So, we already have the mass of the particle given in our problem. That is 8 kilograms. That is 8 multiplied by the acceleration. The acceleration is equivalent to, nakuha na natin, negative 2i minus 2j. So, the vector form of our force is negative 16i minus 16j. Okay. So, yung 8 natin ay naka-in terms of kilograms. Yung acceleration natin, wala kasing sinabing unit. Sabihin natin acceleration natin or yung time natin is in seconds and yung s natin is in meters. So, the acceleration will be in meter per second square. So, yung ating vector form of force is in terms of newtons or kilogram meter per second square. Okay, but the requirement needed is the magnitude of the force. So, para makuha yung magnitude ng force, that is equivalent to square root of fx squared plus fy squared. Since naka-vector form po ito, ito yung fx natin, ito yung fy natin. Since alam naman natin that the vector quantity is axi plus ay. Para makuha natin yung magnitude, that is square root of ax squared plus ay squared. Kung babalikan natin mismo yung ating statics of rigid bodies. 2-dimensional lang po tayo. Pwede maging 3-dimensional yung given natin. Kakaroon lang tayo ng az, or that's ayj. Kakaroon tayo dito ng azk. So that is plus az squared for the value of magnitude. Okay, so balik tayo dito kay force. Magnitude of the force is square root of what is fx, that is quantity negative 16 squared, plus what is fy, negative 16 quantity squared. So, calculator lang natin po yan. The force will be 22.6 newtons. And that will be the requirement for letter B. Okay, letter C. Find the time when the speed of the particle is 4 meter per seconds. Okay. Ang binigay po sa ating requirement ay speed. When the speed is 4 meter per seconds. When we say speed, that is a scalar quantity. And speed, that is the magnitude of the velocity. Kasi ang velocity ay vector quantity. Since meron tayong velocity function dito, naka-vector form po siya, kukunin lang natin mismo yung magnitude ng ating velocity. Dahil yun po yung ating magiging scalar quantity niya, yung magnitude, and that will be the value of the speed. Since speed is a scalar quantity. Okay. So, what is speed? that is v equivalent to the square root of vx squared plus vy squared. Okay, substitute natin. What is the speed? That is 4 meter per seconds. Squared na natin to para malis yung ating square root sign dito. Equivalent to vx squared. What is vx? That is 8 minus 2t quantity squared plus what is vy? Yung kasama ng j, that is 12 minus 2t quantity squared. So, kunin lang natin yung time natin dito. Simplifying, this is 16 equivalent to 64 minus 32 plus 40 squared. Excuse me. Plus 144 24 minus 48t plus 40 squared. So, simplifying, ito magka-combine, we have 80 squared. Combine like terms. Ito ay 32t minus 48. So, this is minus 80t. 64 plus 144, 208. Transpose this, that is minus 16. So, this is minus or plus 192. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is 208. Tama. So, 8 equivalent to 0. So, we arrive in a quadratic equation. So, pag quadratic equation, calculator na lang po yun, mode 5, 3. No, so alam niyo, or you can use factoring if you want. So, using your calculator, since quadratic equation, dalawa po yung makukuha nating value ng time. So, t is equivalent to 4 seconds, and the other value is 6 seconds. And both of these values are correct. So, at 4 seconds, the speed will be 4 meter per second. And also at 6 seconds, the speed is also 4 meter per seconds. And these are the requirements for this given problem.